Man, listen, religious, you're all out there slutty during COVID-19 rates rising in the cold weather. There was like 3,000 cases in California one day and 5,000 in Texas. You're all out there with your multiple sex partners. You're at House of Charity, Anna. You have 2 boyfriends. I am so sick to death of you. You religious need to go away. Atheism is about thinking and trying to find answers. It's really about the fact that there is no God, but what you find is that a lot of atheists are the deep thinkers. So, I mean, if you're out there at the bar scene during COVID rates rising because of the cold temperature, you're selfish. You're out there spreading the disease, you little sluts. You need to be put down. You need to be stopped. You have multiple sex partners, Christians. This needs to end. You're the problem. Religious, you're the problem. You're the ones perpetuating COVID. What do viruses do in cold weather? They multiply and they explode. Religious, go away. You are raising rates of COVID-19 and you have to be stopped. Please feel guilty. If there's anything I can't stand,
it's definitely hypocrites. Now, I'm not a Christian. I'm not anything other than your average run-of-the-mill atheist. However, Christian, I've read the Bible, and the reason why I'm an atheist is largely because Christians are a bunch of hypocrites. And I find the same thing continues through all religious patterns. So, like, with me, when I'm at churches or a House of Charity, it kind of is like hectic chaos all the time. But like when I'm in a library or at a school, I mean, I'm trying to get my classes and do stuff and get work studying, looking at the canvas work, I find peace. You really have to question things like that. Like, why is the religious life so hectic and noisy, and why are Christians so mean-spirited most of the time? And why are they so hypocritical and worship money and go with the money? But like the real peace in the world is like in libraries, in the secular world, and even just like going to work is probably more peaceful than hanging out with like deeply religious people, even left-wingers, because it's more, it's really just kind of political. It's like one side will call one side retarded and the other side will call the other side schizophrenic. So it's like left and right, back and forth, and these are the Christians. And then you're there like, well, I'm a Buddhist, so I'm better. Well, the Buddhists kind of do that too, like left-winger, right-winger shit. It's like the whole hypocritical notion of it. I mean, I've read the Bible. Think of Christians, like Matthew 6:24 says what? It says God or money, but not both. But then again, you're not seeing any Christians really dating under their economic class now, are you? You're not seeing a lot of Christians dating atheists, despite what it says in John 13:34 about the one commandment being to love everyone. And here I am, single. I hate to say this, but like the black guys with money as they go to the bar scene and swoop these chicks. Like that kind of thing. Or the frat boys, where they'll go down, they'll start preaching about how liberal and left-wing they are. But meanwhile, they got 2 chicks because they got a nice car. And then they claim to be Christian. It's that kind of stuff that makes atheism just blossom. And it's not the only way that you can make atheism blossom. You can also blossom it by being an atheist and talking about how Christians are a bunch of hypocrites and their religious Jewish and Muslim friends are a bunch of hypocrites too. I'm not really saying hate them, but I'm saying note their behavior and their stupid questions when it comes to like, oh, are you angry? Well, I mean, they'll ask like the obvious things. One side will be one way and then the other way. Like you'll find like when you hang out with Christians and they know you're an atheist, a lot of times even other Christians hanging out with Christians, if you're a good-natured Christian, that is an acceptance. Where you'll be like hanging out with your Christian friends that are constantly preaching for Jesus, But like Monday, they'll tell you one story, and then Tuesday they'll lie and tell you the other story. When like Ephesians 4:29 says, "Don't gossip, don't lie in deceit." So it's stuff like that. Like I don't have a girlfriend. Like, and it's, I mean, it's stuff where the godlessness of this world is absolutely proven to me. Like, okay, I'm Gen X. Why would I want to date Gen Z women? Well, first of all, it's none of your business, bigot. Second of all, are any Gen Z dating Gen X? So what you're saying is that Generation Z, the Zoomers, are a generation of bigots. So age matters. There's the whole preach of age is only a number, or stuff like you'll be like, you really loved some boy, but then I'm there like, you need a man and not a boy. The stuff where it's like you will drink and drink fermentation, but eat your cheese and bread, but hate on age, while claiming that the only thing that sucks about this world is sexism and racism. When it's like the money and power, you'll be a left-winger with like your money and power swooping chicks, like 2 at a time at the bar scene, claiming that you're a Christian when you're just giving in to greed, despite Luke 12:15. Be wary of greed in all forms. So there's reasons why I'm an atheist, because your behavior is absolutely inconsistent with your beliefs. The one covenant, or the one commandment, is to love one another. It's in John 13:34. It's not to believe in Jesus. It's to love one another. So like that, and I say I'm an atheist, you won't date me based on those grounds. Or the stuff where you'll come in like complaining about me on Instagram or something, or you won't even acknowledge my existence, or you'll be on Tinder and it's like you'll see my age and there comes your bigotry. Well, that's why knowing stuff about telomerase is important. You'll be like, ew, gross, you're talking about your cum. Well, how else are you supposed to date Gen Z chicks when you're a bigot generation? Or are you a bigot generation? See, that's the thing that needs to be proven to me, is that you're not a bigot generation that worships money and power. See, that's the thing. Like, the weird thing about it is, like, a Gen X dude between 35 and 55, some millennials would give your kids stronger DNA. And that's proven by, like, 300 studies just on one team. And there's, like, 2 or 3 teams working on this. So there's really, like, 1,000 studies. Stuff where it's like you'll pass just because I talked about one thing, but you're a communist flocking to the money. When I'm certainly left wing, I wouldn't be talking about things like bigotry if I was right wing. I was at BLM, man. I got gassed and I got pepper sprayed. I think that entitles me enough to a girlfriend, rather than you like rich black dudes coming down to the bar scene with your car swooping 3 chicks in the middle of COVID-19 rates rising, no less. Sure, you're riding with Biden, and I hope Trump loses, but I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote for you money worshippers. Not after BLM, not after ACAB, not after like my leftist views that you claim to have through Bernie Sanders are not proven. I mean, you're a money worshiper. You worship money and power. If not, I live at House of Charity trying to get an apartment because I ratted out some heroin users at my former place, and they didn't get kicked out. I don't know. Pioneer Pathway House in Spokane has some retribution to make towards me before I forgive them. Money and power, money and power, money and power. But you claim to be left wing. Well, okay. You know all these hot chicks. I want a girlfriend. You know where I live. You know my situation. Prove it. You know, swing me a phone number or something so I can do a video chat. I've seen enough MTV's Catfish to know that there's some hate in this world and people will just mess with you over the internet, because that dude, Ben Palmer, has messed with me a bunch of times and ghosted me and like pretended to be other people. I mean, I'll just go kind of like check out things. But largely now, if you don't give me a video chat and we meet over the internet, I'm not going to go out with you. There's no way in hell. I mean, what would happen if I were at the bar? Well, first of all, I'm not going to do that because it's a cesspool. There's no social distancing. Nobody's wearing masks. The COVID rates are rising in the colder temperatures, and you're out there slutting it up. How do I trust you? I mean, how do I trust you at all if you're one of them? If you're just the ones that will go with the guys constantly, you're the ones that will date the dudes two at a time because they got the money and power. Do you not see your hypocrisy, Christian? Do you not see your hypocrisy among the left? You claim one thing and you do another, and I'm just sitting there at House of Charity going, yep, you're classist. Oh, you've got to be violent now? Well, that's against your religion. That's against where you are at the left. I don't care if you're riding with Biden or not. You're not a good Democrat. Hook me up. You know, give me a phone number or something. I live in Spokane, Washington. Sure, it's a little bit conservative-y, but it's still one of the most liberal states in the United States, and the Gen Z and millennials are largely left-wing where I've been my entire life. So that's a bit refreshing, but again, the lack of consistency from the religious is obvious. It's like you'll claim, I'll say something like, yeah, I'm a little depressed. I haven't had a girlfriend in 8 years. And then you go on your yada, yada, yada about how, you know, your life is much worse or whatever. You're making me glad I'm an atheist because you have definitely proven to me that there's no God because you won't listen to me. You won't help me out, and your greed and you give in to greed despite your leftism or Christianity is definite signs that Zoomers are bigots. Or are they? Well, that all relies on evidence.